So the question is this: do I need a little Les Paul marching powder? We should check on the technical aspects. Let me talk to my floor director here for just a moment. Ham!
Yes?
How goes it?
It's 7 o'clock. What you doing in here?
Hanging out, being cool, being casual.
No.
No?
Go do it.
It's 7 o'clock? I was just being casual. Jeez. You know, you try to be casual, and what happens? You're just hanging around, minding your own business, and suddenly, it's Tuesday! The day that time forgot. Wow, that t-shirt is bright, isn't it? Maybe I should button one more. That's almost blinding. I got some new t-shirts, so yeah, to kind of match the Les Paul marching powder and stuff like that, you know. Figure you got to spruce up the treehouse once in a while. You want to spruce up your tree housing from time to time. You know, otherwise people might start to talk. You know, Bill's been looking a little dingy. He's still looking dingy, but his clothes are looking a little better. Yeah. All the old shirts. These are all my favorite shirts. They've all worn out while we've been here. Here in the treehouse. You know, a year ago we were talking about the Mount St. Helens 40th anniversary. We were. A year ago. We were here doing this on a Tuesday night. Goodness gracious. It's true. Who knew? Where are we at? I see Katrina Knight. I see Holly Trout Cooper. I see Joe and Kat. Mike Buckman is here. Bridget Lacey is in the house. Janine Boggs, I see you down there. She was trying to hang out in the back where nobody would notice. No. Holly had to set an alarm. Yeah, it must be, it's got to be late back there, right? 7, 8, 9, 10. That's past your bedtime. It'd be past my bedtime if I was playing that late. Yeah. Well, what are you going to do? Still clinging to the reason I asked you here. Still peering through the periscope. I look around and see plastic opportunity. I pick it up and there's only hope. Blame it all on some backlit fantasy of spending too long staring out at the sun. Just think if I could sing and we could listen with the radio on. With the radio on, yeah. Coffee's cooking and the bulbs are all burning and last drops of some midnight fuel. Sometimes I'm choking on something that's broken and sometimes I'm polishing up a jewel. Up and down is my pattern of living and I know it ain't a whole lot of fun. Just think if I could sing and we could listen with the radio on. With the radio on, yeah. Patience hiding inside a mound of emotions and we miss the things that we need the most. This may not seem like any courageous moment, but I'll change the diaper, you make the toast. Blame it all on some backlit fantasy of spending too long staring out at the sun. Just think if I could sing and we could listen with the radio on. With the radio on, yeah. With the radio, radio, radio on. Radio on. Radio on. There you go. Hey, Jeff Steve. How you doing? Hey, Kim Nelson. How you doing? Thanks for coming back again, you guys. Sweet. Cameron Pete. The right-handed mug, yes. Thanks, Mom. Dimitra. The Methowians, wherever they may be, whoever they may be. There you go. Down there in Portland, there's Gary Schulstead, among other people. We'll get to others here in a minute. Hey, Holly Tuttle. Joe and Kat down there in Alabama. Yeah. Is Uncle P left, or is he still there? He liked it so much he's going to move in with you, right? I don't know. Welcome, Joe and Kat. Anybody seen Lori Trout? Lori Trout? Lori Trout? Lori! Well, she might just still be getting in her car on her way to work. There's Rick Lewis. Hey there, Matt Howian. This is the weekly Lori Trout honorarium. Did I say that right? I'll be able to talk better in here in just a minute. Oh, that's smooth. Yes. Followed directly, of course, by Janine Boggs. More about her later. Yeah. Another Portlandian. Miss Val Sanford. Hope she's in the house. There's Mark Kenny. There's Gary Graves. Man, oh man. Cool. Welcome. Welcome, welcome. Where's Cindy Snyder? Cindy! 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 Sydney gave me this cup. I'll be using it several times this evening as I ask you to... Oh, there it is. The complete, all 10 of the cups. Excuse me while I visit the restroom. No, I'm just kidding. So, here we are. Here we are in the treehouse. I gotta tell you, this is my comfort zone. This is, except for when that weird noise, I think there's something in the ventilation is when I think it. The hand! The hand, ladies and gentlemen, the hand! The hand! Hello, hand. The hand is here. Thanks, Lauren. Janine Boggs, Holly Trout Cooper are in the house. Tim and Demetra. Bill Woolham, Bridget Lacey. Cindy Clark is in the house. Hi, Cindy. Holly and Kim are in the house. Jeff Steve's in the house. Rick Lewis is in the house. Mike Buckman, Mark Kenny, Katrina Knight, Kathy and Loris, Kat and Joe. Yes, indeed. Nothing on the back? Presto! It's not a very good Bullwinkle mill. No. I used to be able to do it better. Probably before the Lori Trout Memorial, or honorary. Sorry, not memorial. I probably would have been able to do it better. Bullwinkle J. Moose. You don't believe me? I don't blame you. Well, you know. Woody doesn't get enough credit on this show for carrying the load. When I say load, I mean this whole, the rest of the whole. shouldn't be walking around. I shouldn't be thinking this way. Poison reservoirs and toxic waste squads, it's such a gray, ugly day. Wish I was over at John's, always got a joke to tell. Beer in the refrigerator and the smoke in the pipe, it's so comfortable going to hell. I remember when we were just kids, we were reading comic books and watching TV. We were immortal in a limited way, and the bad guys were easy to see. My friends all hate their jobs. None of us can afford to quit. A lot of people waving from the top of the heap, but for most of us this could be it. I don't usually talk like this. I try for rhythm and rhyme. I want to show my folks that I'm really good at something, but in the mirror I just see passing time. I remember when we were just kids, we were smoking cigarettes and staying out late. We were immortal in a limited way, and we loved what we'd learned to hate. Yes, we did. Yes, we did. Maybe I should call in sick. Maybe I should call back dead. With all of this anger and these schizoid dreams, it'll take all day to empty my head. Wish I was over at John's, always got a joke to tell. You know what's over at John's, it's so comfortable flying to hell. I remember when we were just kids, we were smoking comic books and watching TV. We were immortal in a limited way, and the bad guys were easy to see. Well, they never looked like you or me. No, they never looked like John or me. Wish I was over at John's, Hey, I was out there. Diving for pearls, as they say. Bringing up shells for the mud. You ever open a clam shell and it's just full of mud? You ever open a clam shell? You ever eat a pine tree? Sorry, I'm dating myself. What can you do? What can you do? Can't be helped. What am I looking for? What's going on? What's my name? Yeah. So how is everybody? Is everybody hanging in there? Yeah, good, excellent, lovely, perfect, beautiful. Hi. Hi. Stepped out there for a minute. Considering the list, considering the vast intricacies of the list, the ebbs, the flows, the bobs and weaves. Yeah. Sam and Dave's, the Bobs and Doreens of the list. Thinking, hey, wow, hey, yeah, I could do that one. I could do that one up there. That's that one there. That's some might consider that a classic, but not me, but other people might. Yeah, we could do. Yeah, I don't know. I see the cloud of a turbulent day. I see a dark figure turning away. I see the water that yields to a stone. I see with eyes that have seen to your bones. And I see the ashes that fall to a tray. I watch the hairs that have fallen to gray. I hold the image of art in my mind. I see the years that have fallen behind. Maybe it's over. Maybe it's all been the meat of a dream. Maybe it's over. Maybe my hands cannot claim what I've seen. I see a red door that beckons me in. I see a tablet that calls me to win. I see the keys where I've walked into rhyme. I see a spark, but only part of the time. And I see a bridge between islands of sky. I see a woman who asks me to try. I watch the winter that's grown on my skin. I see the light going yellow and thin, and thin. Maybe it's over. Maybe it's all been the meat of a dream. Maybe it's over. Maybe my hands cannot claim what I've seen. I feel a power that's lofty and whole. I watch as uncertainty clings to my soul. Maybe I'll see all my images through. Maybe I'll come again broken to you. And maybe it's over. Maybe it's all been the meat of a dream. Maybe it's over. Maybe my hands cannot claim what I've seen. Maybe it's over. Maybe it's all been the meat of a dream. Maybe it's over. Maybe my hands cannot claim what I've seen. Maybe it's over. Maybe it's all been the meat of a dream. Maybe it's over. Meat of a Dream, that's called. That's from way back. Way back. Way back in the dim and distant past. Back before Mount St. Helens. No, I don't think it's... No, it's not that far back. Not that far back. Sorry. I was trying to date myself because no one else would. And it's the Hand, ladies and gentlemen. The Hand is back. The Hand 2. The adventure continues. What do we got? Uh-oh. Rick Lewis is under the weather. Uh-oh. Flu after maskless weekend. Didn't I hear something about a second COVID vaccine there, Rick? Might there be some kind of... Because Diane and I got our second shots on the 7th, and like fully a week later, we were still having days or parts of days that were just like... So... You know, if you got your COVID shot, then that's a good sign. It means you're building antibodies, you know. Your body's busy and they're taking care of business. Okay? All right. Let's all send good booga toward Rick Lewis. Good, you know, all kinds of good energy flow. Okay. Mom and Mug are in the house. My mom and my sister are in the house. And word has it that Lori Trout is in the house. Although, did she see the Lori Trout honorarium? Kill for a little more honorarium right now. But hey, let's move on. What's this? Everyone thinks I just played 3 powerhouse songs. Powerhouse songs? Let me make a note of that. Let me write that down. Let's see. Radio on. Powerhouse. P for powerhouse. Comfort, P for powerhouse. Meat of a Dream, P for powerhouse. Yeah, I got it. I got them. Those will go in the powerhouse section of the master list. That's what'll happen. Yeah. Well, the fingers were kind of losing their way there at the end of Meat of a Dream, but you know, it's that time of year. It's that time of year, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see. Let's squeeze one more out before that. Powerhouse. Don't think about Powerhouse, but... Phooey. Lord, you've seen my secret list, and I guess you knew it would come to this, 'cause you're straight and narrow is wide and twisted. Hear what I have to say. Promises are made of wood. Some have fallen and some have stood, but you plant them as deep as you think you should. One day they start to sway. Yours is the breath where the wind does start. This is the storm blowing in my heart, and it's reached the place where the floodgates part. What will it wash away? So I offer you through these upturned hands, each with its treasures, its loves and plans. Look at them both just as soon as you can, and show me the higher way. Lord, you've seen my secret list, so I guess you knew it would come to this. 'Cause you're straight and narrow, is wide and twisted. Hear what I have to say. There you go. That's called Sway. That's from the Water Dance. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, people. Yeah. For those of you who are new to the Treehouse, this is the portion we call Poetry Break! Poetry Break! Poetry Break! Right? Isn't that what we call it? That is it. Yeah. Gotta have my stump. Got to have the stump. Hey there. Let's see now. 41 years ago. Wow. Where were you when the mountain blew? Yeah. I'll tell you all about it. Whew. But a year ago, we were recounting our Mount St. Helens adventures. Do you remember that? Those of us who were alive 41 years ago, there may be a few people in the house that were not. Wow. But I believe last year we dipped into this mighty volume. This guy. Yeah, this guy again. That's right. Well, I'm going to read a few of these because I'm going to read some of another guy too. Yeah, this book came out in 2004. So Gary would have been, what, 83? Something like that. Yeah, when this came out. He's still with us. The whole first section is Mount St. Helens. Right? Mount St. Helens. Lewitt. Lewitt, as it's called. I'll start with this little section from the very opening of the book called The Mountain. From the Doab of the Willamette and the Columbia, slightly higher ground, 3 snow peaks can be seen when it's clear: Mount Hood, Mount Adams, and Mount St. Helens. A 4th, Mount Rainier, farther away, is only visible from certain spots. In a gentle landscape like the western slope, snow peaks hold much power. With their late afternoon or early morning glow, light play all day, and always snow. The Columbia is a massive river with a steady flow. Those peaks and the great river and many little rivers set the basic form of this green wooded northwest landscape. Whether suburban, rural, or urban, the rivers go through it and the mountains rise above. Mount St. Helens, Lewitt, is said to be the Indian name, a perfect snow-capped volcanic cone rising from almost sea level to 9,677 feet. I always wanted to go there. Hidden on the north side in a perched basin is a large, deep lake. Spirit Lake. Okay. Now we're going to skip ahead. This is a great book. It's a great book. The whole thing is good. The first section has special appeal, especially around May the 18th. Atomic Dawn, this is called. The day I first climbed Mount St. Helens was August 13th, 1945. Spirit Lake was far from the cities of the valley, and the news came slow. Though the first atomic bomb was dropped on Hiroshima August 6th, and the second dropped on Nagasaki August 9, photographs didn't appear in the Portland Oregonian until August 12. Those papers must have been driven into Spirit Lake on the 13th. Early the morning of the 14th, I walked over to the lodge to check the bulletin board. There were whole pages of the paper pinned up, photos of a blasted city from the air, the estimate of 150,000 dead in Hiroshima alone. The American scientist quoted saying, "Nothing will grow there again for 70 years. The morning sun on my shoulders, the fir forest smell and the big tree shadows, feet in thin moccasins feeling the ground, and my heart still one with the Snow Peak mountain at my back. Horrified, blaming scientists and politicians and the governments of the world, I swore a vow to myself, something like, by the purity and beauty and permanence of Mount St. Helens, I will fight against this cruel, destructive power and those who would seek to use it for all my life." The next poem is called Some Fate. Climbed Lewitt, Sahaptin name, 3 more times. July of 46 with Sister Thea. Went to Venezuela and Cartagena as a seaman, summer of 1948. June of 49 with dear friend Robin, who danced shimmering in the snow, and again with her late that summer. This wide Pacific land, blue haze edges, mists and far gleams, broad Columbia River, eastern Pacific somewhere west. Us at a still place, in the wheel of the day, right at home at the gateway to nothing, can only keep going. Sit on a rock and gaze out into space, leave names in the summit book, prepare to descend on down to some fate in the world. And then, 1980, letting go. Centuries, years, and months of let off a little steam, cloud up and sizzle, growl, stamp dance, quiver, swell, glow, glare, bulge. Swarms of earthquakes, tremors, rumbles. She goes. 8:32 a.m., 18 May 1980. Superheated steams and gases, white-hot crumbling boulders lift and fly in a burning sky river wind of searing lava, droplet hail, huge icebergs in the storm, exploding mud, shoots out flat and rolls a swelling, billowing cloud of rock bits, crystal, pumice, shards of glass dead ahead blasting away. A heavenly host of tall trees goes flat down, lightning dances through the giant smoke. A calm voice on the two-way, ex-Navy radio man and volunteer describes the spectacle, then says, the hot black cloud is rolling toward him. No way but wait his fate. A photographer's burnt camera full of half-melted pictures. 3 fallers in their trucks, chainsaws in back, tumbled gray and still. 2 horses swept off, struggling in hot mud, a motionless child laid back in a stranded ashy pickup. Roiling earth gut trash cloud tephra 12 miles high. Ash falls like snow on wheat fields and orchards to the east. 500 Hiroshima bombs. In Yakima, darkness at noon. Danger on Peaks, it's called. Yeah. So I was trying to get back from Tacoma to Spokane on the 18th of May, 1980. Started out, after I'd heard the mountain had blown, figure, I can outrun it. I don't know what I was actually thinking. I just wanted to, I'd spent spring break at home and I was ready to get back to Spokane. Made it as far as Cle Elum, where it was dark. Or getting dark. It was kind of dusky in Cle Elum, and they had closed all the major cross-state highways, and I had to turn around, go back, and spend another, 3 days in my mom's house before it was safe to, before they said we could go. And I took Highway 2 that time, made it through. he was pretty ashy even a few days later, and for several years later, still ashy. Anyway, so we're shifting gears now, okay? Still talking about tectonic things, but on a more personal level. Every riven thing. The poet is Christian Wyman, and I first read this book. It came out in 2010. I think I got it in 2012 after I had heard Christian Wyman interviewed on a podcast, On Being, it's called, with Krista Tippett. Yes, it's still on their website. You can look up Christian Wyman, W-I-M-A-N, on the On Being website and listen to that interview, where he's talking mostly about a book of essays that had more recently come out, but this book is also referred to, Every Riven Thing. And I wrote in the front of the book at that time, riven, adjective, split apart. Split apart. Riven. So this is basically a journey through his battle with cancer, which happened when he was in his mid-30s, I believe. Yeah, young. And I think he has had to battle it since then. So, but he's still with us and still writing, and he's a man of faith. And he was raised in a very religious background in Texas, and then was an agnostic for many years. And sometime in his mid-30s, when he married, he was brought back, found himself yearning that way again. And now I think he teaches currently at Yale Divinity School, teaches literature and a couple of other subjects at the Yale Divinity School. Christian Wyman is his name. I'm just going to read like 3 of these because he's been compared to like Gerard Manley Hopkins in the fact that his language is just so, makes you salivate. And I love that kind of thing. I always want to be more like that. Probably past it though. This guy's about almost 10 years younger than me, so. But I'm going to start with one called Dust Devil. Anybody who's driven across a flat plain in the summertime when everything's dry and the wheat fields are all bare and you can see the dust devils. The wind gets blowing a certain way and you get these little tornadoes out there in the dust. Dust Devil. Mystical, hysterical amalgam of earth and wind and mind. Over and of the much-loved dust you go, through a field I know, by broken heart, for I have learned this art of flourishing, vanishing, wherein to live is to move, cohesion, illusion, wild, untouchable toy, called by a boy God's top, in a time when time stopped. So you get it. Yeah, the language is rich. I'm going to read that one more time before I move on. Dust Devil. Mystical, hysterical amalgam of earth and wind and mind, over and of the much-loved dust you go, through a field I know, by broken heart, for I have learned this art of flourishing, vanishing, wherein to live is to move, cohesion, illusion, wild, untouchable toy, called by a boy God's top, in a time when time stopped. Yeah, I like the way this guy works. Okay. This stuff really delights me. When I first read this book, it just bowled me over. It's very powerful stuff. This is just the beginning before things get really serious. And I felt like, keep it medium light, Bill. Keep it medium light. This is called 5 Houses Down. I loved his 10 demented chickens and the hell-eyed dog, the mailbox shaped like a huge green gun. I loved the eyesore opulence of his 5 partial cars, the wonder-cluttered porch with its oil-spill plumage, tools called in oil, the dark clockwork of disassembled engines, christened Sweet Baby and benedicted old bitch, and down the steps into the yard the explosion of mismatched parts and black scraps amid which, like a bad sapper cloaked in luck, he would look up, stunned, patting the gut that slopped out of his undershirt and saying, "Son, you looking to make some scratch?" All afternoon we'd pile the flatbed high with stacks of Exxon floor mats mysteriously stenciled with his name, rain-rotted sheetrock or miles of misfitted pipes, coil after coil of rusted fence wire that stained for days every crease of me, rollicking at all to the dump where, while he called every rag man and ravened junk dog by name, he cat-picked the avalanche of trash and fished some always fixable thing up from the depths. His endless, aimless work was not work, my father said. His bark-like earthquake curses were not curses, for he could goddamn a slipped wrench and shit-fuck a stuck latch, but one bad word from me made his whole being twang like a nail misstruck. "Ain't no call for that, son, no call at all. Slip knot, what knot, knot from which no man escapes, prestoed back to plain old rope. Whip snake, black snake, deep in the worm dirt, worms like the clutch of mud. I wanted to live forever, 5 houses down, in the womanless rooms a woman sometimes seemed to move through, leaving him twisting a hand-stitched towel or idly wiping the volcanic dust. It was heaven to me. Beans and weenies from paper plates, black-fingered tinkerings on the back stoop as the sun set, on an upturned fruit crate a little jam jar of rye like ancient light, from which once I took a single secret sip, my eyes tearing and my throat on fire. That is just tasty language. That is just succulent and so utterly descriptive. It's like utterly descriptive. It's like beyond descriptive. It's like far beyond, man. That's what we used to say. People were saying far out. We said far beyond. Actually, Tracy Williams, if you ever see this, you're the one who taught me far beyond. Tracy Williams, back in middle school, Mason Junior High. That's right, my friend. I'm going to read 2 more, okay? 2 more of these, because I'm sorry. Once I start, I can't stop. This one is kind of like the last one. Sitting down to breakfast alone. Bratchest, she called it, gentling grease over blanching yolks with an expertise honed from 3 decades of dawns at the Longhorn Diner in Lorraine, where even the oldest in the old men's booth swore, as if it were scripture truth, they'd never had a breakfast better. Rapping a glass sharply to get her attention when it went sorrowing so far into some simple thing, the jangly door or a crusted pan, the wall clock's black hitchy hands, that she would startle, blink, then grin as if discovering them all again. Who remembers now when one died, the space that he had occupied when unfilled for a day, then 2, 3, until she unconsciously plunked plates down in the wrong places and stared their wronged faces back to banter she could hardly follow. Unmarried, childless, homely, slow, she knew coffee cut with chamomile kept the grocer Paul's ulcer cool. Yarrow in gravy eased the islands of lesions on Larry Borwick's hands. And when some night-long nameless urgency sent him seeking human company, Brother Tom needed hash browns with cheese. She knew to nod at the litany of cities the big-rig long haulers bragged her past, to laugh when the hunters asked if she'd pray for them or for the quail they went laughing off to kill, and then, envisioning one rising so fast it seemed the sun tugged at it, to do exactly that. Who remembers where they all sat, crooked-backed builders, drought-faced farmers, VFers muttering through their wars, night-shift roughnecks so caked in black it seemed they made their way back every morning from the dead? Who remembers one word they said, The longhorn diners long torn down, the gin and feedlots gone, the town itself now nothing but a name at which some bored boy has taken aim, every letter light-pierced and partial. Sister, Aunt Bessie, Birithrail kill, I picture you one dime bright dawn, grown even brighter now for being gone, bustling amid the formica and chrome of that small house we both called home during the spring that was your last. All stories stop. Once more you're lost in something I can barely see. Steam spirting out of black coffee, the scorched pores of toast, a bowl of apple butter like edible soil, bald cloth, knife light, the lip of a glass, my plates gleaming, teeming emptiness. That stuff just amazes me. It just amazes me. Because, you can taste it, and it's not diminished by its flavor, Yeah. This one's a little different in cadence and tone, but it's the title poem, Every Riven Thing. Remember, riven means split apart. Every riven thing. God goes, belonging to every riven thing he's made, sing his being simply by being the thing it is. Stone and tree and sky, man who sees and sings and wonders why God goes. Belonging to every riven thing he's made means a storm of peace. Think of the atoms inside the stone. Think of the man who sits alone trying to will himself into a stillness where God goes belonging. To every riven thing he's made, there is given one shade, shaped exactly to the thing itself. Under the tree, a darker tree. Under the man, the only man to see, God goes belonging to every riven thing. He's made the things that bring him near, made the mind that makes him go. A part of what man knows, apart from what man knows, God goes belonging to every riven thing he's made. That may be one of my favorite poems of all time. Certainly in the top 10. I'm going to read it again. Bear with. Oh. Thanks, Cindy. Every riven thing. God goes, belonging to every riven thing he's made, sing his being simply by being the thing it is. Stone and tree and sky, man who sees and sings and wonders why God goes. Belonging to every riven thing he's made means a storm of peace. Think of the atoms inside the stone. Think of the man who sits alone trying to will himself into a stillness where God goes belonging. To every riven thing he's made, there is given one shade, shaped exactly to the thing itself. Under the tree, a darker tree. Under the man, the only man to see, God goes belonging to every riven thing. He's made the things that bring him near, made the mind that makes him go. A part of what man knows, apart from what man knows, God goes belonging to every riven thing he's made. That, I think, is devotional poetry, It just is, Before we get back to the tunage, I may run a few minutes long tonight. I don't care. Do you? I want to say, I'm not feeling great. This is the time of year when I don't feel great. This is also a time where we're beginning to reemerge, right? Most of us, I hope, have had our second shots or are going to get them soon. Diane and I are 2 weeks past our second shot on Friday this week. So for June, July, August, and September, I'm going to do one Treehouse concert a month.
the first Tuesday of each month, which begins June 1st, which is 2 weeks from tonight. I will be back on June 1st. And then the first Tuesday in July, which I think is the 6th, the first Tuesday in August, which is, the first Tuesday in August, and the first Tuesday in September. By September, I don't know. I'll know what the next thing is going to be. But here's what I'm experiencing. Diane does a lot of reading, and then we do a lot of talking about what we've been reading and what I've been writing. And I have a sense, part of my thought process as I am in my 64th year is about acquiescing, is about recognizing that there are things that are slipping from my capability that may not come back in the fall when it cools down again. Some of this stuff I know is seasonal, but I'm also aware that last January, I don't know if you'll recall, I had a bad stretch where I was really having some trouble playing. Since then, when I play a song, my hands hurt worse the longer I'm playing. I remember a time, maybe a year ago, when the only time my arms didn't hurt was when I was playing the guitar, which was like, yeah, I want to play more because it doesn't hurt when I play. Now, it does. So what does that mean? I have no idea. MS is one of those things where you don't know. Nobody knows dinkus, ultimately. Some claim to know, but I've seen no proof. All I've really learned is that it's different in pretty much everybody who has it. So I've got it. And so I've been acquainted with the fact in my head that at some point I may not be able to play the guitar anymore. What am I going to do? Well, I'm going to sit right over there and write poetry. I'm already doing that. I've been doing that since before I started writing songs. I think I started writing poetry when I was 8 or 9 years old. I didn't commit to being a songwriter until I was 13, which was 50 years ago. 50. So I've been at this for a good stretch. And I always told myself when I was young, poetry, maybe when I'm old and I don't want to play anymore, then I'll work on my poetry. I'll move poetry to the center of my plate, maybe put music over to the side. Well, I recognize the fact that that time might be approaching. The time is approaching, but I don't know how close it is yet. So right now it's just a seasonal thing, but that's what I'm going to do. Okay? So, yeah. I can see a time when the Treehouse concert might be all poetry. Or it might be mostly poetry and a couple of songs. And, we'll have 15 people there instead of 35. But this will be the reality. But I will tell you, and I will promise you, as much as I can promise anything, that because this Tuesday night thing has been such a gift to me and has kept me going for this last year and however long it's been since March of 2020, I'm not going to stop doing these in whatever capacity I am capable of. So, as Cindy Snyder tells us, and we'll find out together what's going to happen, okay? Because I'll be checking in. Oh, how about if I play one that I haven't even practiced this week? Yeah, that's how bold Billy is. Billy's bold. Billy's being bold. Well, we had some of this earlier today. Yeah, I was talking earlier about how I wanted to get out of the house and I was going to go for a drive and I thought I could go for a walk on the beach and it was raining outside. No. Yeah, but by the time I got down to the park in Edmonds, the sun was out. It was beautiful. There was nobody in the park. Why?
a subject that's worthy of trust. It stands up to scrutiny, settles the dust. It soaks through your overcoat much as it must, yet it never gets bruised from its falling.
Whoa! Should have practiced it.
Rain is a subject we ought to research and learn to be thankful when we enter its church. It's fine architecture we mustn't besmirch, so that it won't get bruised from its falling. Rain is a subject that washes your dreams. It dampens your undies when it goes to extremes. When it comes in sideways, it can't hear your screams, so it never gets bruised from its falling. Rain is a subject that's hard to resist, with nicknames like cats and dogs, drizzle and mist, and a few obscene adjectives to add to the list, yet it never gets bruised from its falling. Rain is a subject we must learn to love, since much of our sustenance falls from above. It's 80% of us, finger in glove, so let it never get bruised from its falling.
Rain, rain, rain. Paperwork, paperwork. I want to make sure I got the right paperwork here. You know, I don't want to be operating in the wrong week of the Treehouse concert now. Yeah. I tell you, I've been talking to Diane about this, about cutting back on the tree houses because, you know, we need to emerge, people. We've had this isolation time, and for me, it's been a time of absorbing a lot of needed information, along with going stir crazy and all the other stuff. We got to be willing to walk the talk, right? We got to be.
Here comes Jason with his red rose tea. Here comes Ezra, he'll be looking for me. Down by the dumpster, down by the blowing debris. Gathered round the concrete tree. They're all looking for the temporary bed. Blankets from the stairwell, shoes from the dead. Rumor on the block say Ollie got a cave in his head. Wondered why his shirt was so red. Days are getting shorter, how can that be? Shots of Donald Trump keep me company. Myrtle's really sorry for the finger she broke. Used to take the bus, but now she's taking jokes. Hustling for newsprint, trying to get herself a new coat. friendless at this end of her road. Andy couldn't yell 'cause Andy couldn't talk. Andy found some pizza in a Domino's box. We found him on the chain link down by the ferry boat docks, hanging like a bag from the rocks. Days are getting shorter, how can that be? Shots of Donald Trump keep me company. Missy's from the mission and Missy's okay. Just don't mention Jesus or she'll keep you all day. Jesus would have liked her looking like an angel she prays. Don't hear much from Jesus these days. And here comes Jason with his red rose tea. Here comes Ezra, he'll be looking for me. Down by the dumpster, down by the blowing debris, gathered round the concrete tree. Song written in 1989. Yeah. Who would have thunk it? Who would have thunk it? Hey there, kids! Let's gather around the ICU 2 TV set. We've got some birthdays to talk about. That's right, friends. Now, if I'm doing one of these a month, it'd be a lot of birthdays. See, doing them once a month, they might be a little longer. They might go a little long. That's okay. We'll check in about that. It depends on how I'm feeling. Because in the summertime, you know, even though I'm only doing one a month, I might be on a day where I feel really crappy. It's like a crapshoot. I don't know how to... You can't predict it. But we're here to talk about festivities. Gail Heaton Pugh, having her birthday right here and right now. My old first student buddy. Happy birthday, Gail. Great singer-songwriter Bill Nash, celebrating his birthday today. Happy birthday to you, Bill. Now, coming up this week, we got some stellar names. Stellar, beginning with tomorrow, we got Brenda Hicks Ritchie celebrating her birthday tomorrow. Happy birthday, Brenda. I've known Brenda a long time. Also tomorrow, Rick Ruskin, local guitar playing monster guitar player. Rick Ruskin having a birthday tomorrow. Marcia Kester, another singer-songwriter of much renown, is having her birthday tomorrow. And a friend from my earliest childhood, Melba Mosley. Used to be Melba Ann Crawford when I knew her. Melba Ann, yeah. The daughter of Nick Crawford. And Nick and Ann Crawford. My dad knew them in the Army. My mom went to nursing school with Ann. They all met out at the Fort Lewis Army base where my mom met my dad. It was one of those kind of things. Happy birthday, Melba. Thursday, I got nothing. I got nothing for Thursday. Whose fault is that? You know, I look in all the usual places. I talk to my CIA connections. I talk to my Homeland Security people. Nothing. We move on. Friday, Priscilla Abbott is having a birthday on Friday. Happy birthday, Priscilla. Also on Friday, an old Kevlar buddy of mine from radio station KVLR in Twisp, Rick Mills, is having a birthday on Friday. Happy birthday to you, Rick. On Saturday, I believe, Janine Boggs is celebrating her birthday.
this Saturday. Everybody, wish Janine a happy birthday. She's here in the house tonight. Yes. Also on Saturday, Ann Newcomb is having a birthday. Happy birthday to Ann. Indeed. On Sunday, Kate Jones, formerly of the Methow Valley Arts Council. Back when I was living up there in the valley, now she is the chairperson of the Telluride Council for the Arts in Telluride, Colorado. Kate has moved up in the world. I mean, vertically. I think Telluride's a little higher. Well, maybe I could be wrong, but I think it is. Also, Camp Coho cohort Gary Martin is having his birthday on Sunday, as is local singer-songwriter performer Jim Portillo. Happy birthday on Sunday, Jim. On Monday, Jenna Marie Burke. Yes, Jenna Marie Burke is having her birthday on Monday. Daughter of Robert and Annie Burke, who are often treehouse dwellers, yes, as well as Sarah Nicole Schneider, Taylor K. Schneider, and those boys. Yes, indeed. Jenna Marie, happy birthday on Monday. Also on Monday, Tara Weaver is having her birthday, friend from the Methow Valley, great violinist. And Peter Glass, another musician here in the area, is having his birthday on Monday. Right. Okay, now because we're going to be gone the following week, we're going to be back on June 1st, which is 2 weeks from tonight. On Wednesday next week, Stacy Kuykendall. Yes, Stacy Higgins, who I grew up with on Fox Island, one of those Higgins people, is having her birthday next Wednesday. Happy birthday in advance, Stace. Neil Storm is having his birthday. Local musician and just prolific writer is having his birthday on Thursday next week. In the house tonight, Mr. Gary Graves is having his birthday next Friday. That would be a week from this Friday, right? The 28th, yes. And also on Friday, John Bundy is having his birthday next week. Same day as Gary Graves. Happy birthday to Gary and to John. There you go. 2 weeks worth of birthdays. Best as I can do it. With the information that I've got, the intelligence that comes to me, which is, leaking out this way as it comes in this way. You know how intelligence is with me. So I'm not going to be with you for a couple of weeks. I wanted to end with this one, which is one of my personal favorites. And it's a recent song. It's a pandemic tune. And you probably know the story, but the last time I played in public was March 5th of 2020 with Cat Eggleston at the C&P Coffee Company in West Seattle. Cam and Pete! And Cat. And my buddy Scott Higgins was there. Stacy Kuykendall's older brother, Scott, who you've heard me talk to on this show and who is probably in the house tonight. If not, some of his relatives are. Scott and Rhonda were at that show, and Scott came up to me during the break and was showing me these photos on his phone of this carving he was making for his daughter Amber, who had announced that she was pregnant with their first grandchild. Scott wanted to do something to give to her to commemorate this momentous thing, his becoming a grandfather and Rhonda becoming a grandmother. So he was taking a First Nations design and creating a backboard, right? In the song, I call it a shield, but it was actually a backboard. And he was showing it to me, and I was just marveling at this carving he was doing. Scott's quite the woodworker, as is his dad. So I got home from that gig, and then the shutdown happened, and suddenly it was isolation times, and I kept seeing those pictures in my head, and that's how this song started. It's called Life on the Sound, and I will leave you with this tonight.
Scott carved a shield for his daughter, the First Nations designs he had seen. Out of cedar he pulled from the water, and the carvers he met in his dreams. Now she carries his grandchild inside her as they take the path down to the bay, skipping stones on the still morning mirror, with everything and nothing to say. Life on the Sound is a long recitation, a fog on the shoreline and rain in rotation. It's a dewy-eyed lover It's a new generation and exactly where you need to be. Alma drove home for the summer from a secret that she'd left behind. There was high drama out on the desert, and the rivers unsettled her mind. What she needs is the peace and the stillness, the slow breath of tides on the beach, the smell of her mother's warm blankets, and all she requires within reach. Life on the Sound is a long recitation, a fog on the shoreline and rain in rotation. It's a dewy-eyed lover and a good explanation of exactly where you need to be. Barney was a gooey duck miner. He could fill 7 buckets a day, and his chowder was the talk of the island back before all the fish moved away. Now he sits on his rock in the twilight, and he smiles as the memories float by. Now the mainland has swallowed the sunset, making way for this flickering sky. Life on the Sound is a long recitation, a fog on the shoreline and rain in rotation. It's a dewy-eyed lover, it's a standing ovation, and exactly where you need to be. Life on the Sound is a long recitation, a fog on the shoreline and rain in rotation. It's a dewy-eyed lover, it's a standing ovation, and exactly where you need to be. There you go. There you go, folks. Yes, indeed, Rooney. That went okay. That went okay, huh? It did. It went okay. Happy Mount St. Helens anniversary to everybody. Thank you once again for keeping me upright through this. We'll be back 2 weeks from tonight on June the 1st, okay? Another Tuesday, the day the time forgot. I'll be working on the birthdays list. If you got somebody who's got a birthday in June, hit me up if they're not already listed on the Facebook thing or something like that, okay? I'll be looking. Thank you for your understanding. Thank you for and we shall meet again soon, all right? Okay. Let's take care of each other now. Let's do that. All right. Bye-bye.